everyone. Good morning. You're listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair, and this is Weekend Wake Up. My name is Caitlin Aristizabal, and I'm joined by my co-host,
Leslie Gallagher. Welcome to Weekend Wake Up, my friends, your weekly dose of lifestyle-ish news. And today we're going to be talking about a few different things. We're starting out with entertainment, a little bit of Britney Spears talk, and then we're going into some health and wellness, of course. And we're rounding off our show with some new music and some interesting music news of how I Met Your Mother star released a new song and our possibly not so bright opinions about it. And with that, here's Allie Leach with some entertainment news.
Hello. So first, we have some entertainment news to talk about. And we're a little bit all over the place today, but we got some stories. So first up that I want to talk about is this new movie called Zola. It was directed by Janixa Brown, and it is this racy, wild, funny, crazy ride that is actually based on a true story based on a Twitter thread that went viral in October 2015, and it's 148 tweets long.
What? 148? Oh my God.
It is a very insane story. Yeah, I think it's very cool how there's a movie being released about a Twitter thread. So I think that it is very interesting, and I just want to touch base on that because it's kind of interesting how social media is starting to influence the film industry and kind of, have a footprint in this industry.
Yeah,
cool.
That's what I was thinking too. Like, I think that says a lot about our generation too. Like the fact that that blows my mind. Like a movie based on a Twitter thread. I mean, I know some Twitter threads are crazy, but I really want to read this one. You said you read it before. How long did that take you? 148 tweets?
It took me about 10 minutes. 148 tweets seems a lot longer than it actually is, because if you think about it, tweets are only like a couple words each. But it took me about 10 minutes to read it, and I loved it. If you'd like to check it out, the Twitter handle is @_ZolarMoon. It should still be on there. If not, if you still want to check it out, you can check out Google, and it will be on there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure someone screenshotted it. I mean,
yeah,
I still
it's out there.
That's a movie. Like someone really. That's like so. I feel like that is like kind of a good representation of like the kind of like weird social media, technology age that we're in. How we like, I don't know, talk about it so much and use it so much that a whole movie was based off a Twitter thread. Like that is so funny to me.
I know, it's so interesting how like these social media apps have so much impact and influence on our pop culture every day outside of the apps. And I think that's so interesting and what makes social media so powerful today.
I know. See, it probably, because it's a thing, because most time when like a normal person tweets something, nothing really happens, but then sometimes it gets super viral. And that's like a whole thing within like our social media culture. Like that wasn't a thing before, when someone would say something, there's no way for it to get viral, but now we have social media. Now I'm just rambling, but like it's kind of crazy if you think about it. Like we're used to it, but it is really weird.
No, but that's a good thing. I think to grab ideas from a different place, that's a pretty cool thing. Like not staying stuck in like a box, like taking advantage of the fact that we have social media and all these different platforms and access to all these different people at one time.
It can be good. It can be good and it can be bad. It's an interesting thing.
Yeah, there's definitely always goods and bads to social media. Like there's, for example, the bads to it might be that we see come out with Britney Spears. So we can start talking about that now. Britney Spears has been in the news a lot recently. Unfortunately, not for the best reasons. She recently responded to the Framing Britney Spears documentary that was released about her. And she made an Instagram post with a video of herself dancing in a very kind of odd manner. And basically in her Instagram caption, she said she felt very judged, insulted, and embarrassed by the media since she got into the limelight until now. And she didn't watch the documentary. She only watched parts of it, but she was embarrassed by how they painted her out to be. And she said that her dancing every day and her posting on social media is bringing her joy and that she's not here to be perfect. She's here to pass on kindness. Now, this might seem like a normal Instagram caption, but people who are fans of Britney were really digging through this, and they found that Britney might not be in control of her social media. And Britney's ex-makeup artist actually came forward and said, his name is Billy Brasfield. He said to Page Six that Britney said herself that she is not in charge of her caption when she's making her Instagram posts, and that she has no control over her social media at all. So
That is crazy.
that is very scary and crazy because of this conservatorship situation that she is in, which, if you're unaware, Britney Spears is in a conservatorship, which means that basically her father, who is her conservator, makes all of her decisions for her. Literally,
Not
her life.
She's like in her 40s and has her own kids of her own.
Mm-hmm.
And it's her life, it's her personal life, but it is an interesting situation. I didn't watch the documentary, and I was going to because I was interested in this, but now seeing how upset that it's made her, I'm kind of glad I didn't watch it, because I don't know, maybe it's doing more harm than good. I don't know. What do you think, Allie?
So I did watch parts of the documentary, and I could definitely see where she said that she was embarrassed by how she was portrayed, because she honestly got no say in it, and it's this documentary about her entire life. And as I was watching it, I was kind of just thinking about, like, if I had a documentary made about me that was this big, I would kind of want to have a say in it, and I didn't feel like she had that much say in it. Like, obviously she was in it and stuff because it's a documentary about her, but she wasn't there for any of the editing or anything to see how they were going to paint her out in this light. And because of this whole conservatorship situation, a lot of people think that the true story of what happened to Britney and just her true story isn't being put out there, which makes a lot of sense. Because so if this conservatorship is really, as bad and as dangerous as people make it out to seem, then it's obvious that Britney's not really going to have a say in the documentary. And kind of as you're watching that, at least for me, I had the conservatorship idea in the back of my head. And I was thinking about it. I was like, during this movie, like, they definitely were with the producers and the editors and the writers, kind of navigate the story and how it would be said.
Exactly. Like, if she can't even write her own Instagram captions, it makes sense that she wouldn't really have a say in how she's portrayed in this movie, which is really, like, tragic to me. Like, it's like this whole point where she is, like, lacking control of not, like, even just her own, maybe her personal life, but now how, like, the entire world views her, and that's just not fair. I can't imagine being in that position. I don't know. I can't imagine.
Also, though, I mean, I feel like it's kind of sad too, because if they're portraying her that way in the documentary, it's probably for obviously like entertainment purposes too, like making it extra, like just being extra with that. I mean, you don't really need to be like dramatizing it.
Yeah, and it's very sad too, because I think this all goes back to around 2007, when we would all make those jokes like, oh, if Britney could survive 2007, I could survive anything. And it's like,
God, yeah.
It's like, yeah, that's true, but she went through a lot, from back then until now. Yeah. And it's like, it's insane how much this poor girl has gone through. And, unfortunately, it's still happening until this day. But more people are starting to talk about it and come forward. So,
yeah. And it's always just been in the public eye, which feels really unfair to her.
Mm-hmm.
Like, imagine like all the stuff you're going through in life and like everyone just knows about it. Like, I'd be mortified, like, but I have no reason to be famous, so we're good. Anything else you want to talk about today?
Yeah, there's actually one more thing that I wanted to talk about, so we can kind of end on a bit of a lighter note instead of all this sad stuff. So The Voice, one of my favorite TV shows, they have a new judge. Ariana Grande joined the panel. Nick Jonas unfortunately left, but that's okay, because we have Kelly Clarkson still, Blake Shelton, and John Legend, and Ariana Grande, and I think that is a very strong panel of judges. I think Ariana Grande fits in very well with them, and she's going to do really good. And I'm very excited to see her on the show because I love her. So I'm very excited.
I'm so excited too. I know she's joining next season, and she's just such a powerful vocalist, and also she's gone through a lot in her personal life, so I feel like she'd be a good mentor as well. And just her experience in the industry from like being growing up in it kind of, and I don't know, I just feel like she'd be a great mentor, so I really want to see that all go down. And also shout out to Blake Shelton. He's been there since day one, every single season.
One controversial opinion, I didn't even know controversial opinions could be a thing for The Voice, but I did hear people being like Ariana, your career is so young. This is like a show you do when you have like no music left to make. And it was just like it's like you go on The Voice like when your career's like over, quote unquote.
It's so offensive to Nick Jonas.
Yeah, that feels like a slap in the face to all the other judges.
I was like, ouch. I was like, I didn't really think about it like that, but I mean
the people on there don't really make music anymore, but except Nick Jonas.
Yeah. I think maybe Nick Jonas was the exception, but I guess what they were saying is like Ariana is like really like young and like has so much to do. And I guess that's what they were trying to say is like you do it more when you're older and you've like run out of good material and you just want to cash that money.
Well, I feel like that's kind of rude to say too, though, because
it was like absolutely rude.
It's a whole mentorship thing. Like you can mentor somebody at any point in your career.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. It was just really, I read that and I was just like, audacity, like, oh my God, it was just rude. I was like, you're really gonna insult Ariana? Like, let her do what she wants. Like, she wouldn't take the position if she didn't want to. Just let her, it's, again, social media, people trying to, I don't know, control other people. Wow, social media is coming up a lot today.
Oh, everybody always
has
an opinion.
Twitter, by the way.
Social media is powerful in this industry, and I think it's going to grow even more and just keep affecting it like we see.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Nervous and excited to see how it's going to go, but we'll just take that one day at a time.
One day at a time. How inspirational, Allie. Well, thank you for coming on and talking entertainment with us, the good, the bad, and the social media. And with that, we've got some lifestyle news with Camilla Wnek.
Hello, you guys. Good morning. Happy Easter if you celebrate. Now, this is a very special time, as you know, for many people because it's one of the greatest holidays that welcomes spring. And I was actually wondering, do you guys celebrate Easter?
Yes, I do celebrate Easter. I feel like I'm trying to think about, usually I just eat with my family. Like we go to church in the morning and then I eat with my family. I don't know what's happening this year, but
COVID. Oh my God. I feel like normally for Easter, I do celebrate it. I'm not super religious myself, but like my family is. So like we just celebrate Easter, but we normally would have like a family gathering, which is like not COVID safe, but normally we would sometimes see extended family because like one of my cousin's birthdays is also like around this time. So what we would do is like a combined birthday party with like, let's celebrate Easter like all in one. So that's what we would normally do in a normal year, or just like eat like chocolate eggs till we pass out. So
or
something
peeps.
like that.
Or peeps.
So controversial. I'm not really into peeps, but we're gonna talk about that later with Issa. Okay, we can't get ourselves.
Yeah, no. I was wondering simply because Easter is one of it's a Christian holiday. It's a religious holiday, of course, but it's one of the major holidays that bring in the spring or celebrate the spring in a way. According to AP News, Easter was actually originally, now this is a bit weird, but it was originally a pagan holiday celebrating the goddess Esther, and it was as if the pagan way to welcome spring. That's why we have the traditions of the Easter bunny. It was originally because bunnies would often, let's just say, populate the most around then, and we have the idea of eggs. Due to new life and stuff, and chicks are very cute as well. But different cultures around the world have different ways of celebrating the springtime. And no, they sadly don't celebrate like us, through Easter. But for example, they have there's a lot of water themes, water and color themes, especially in Asia. For example, the festival of Holi in India. And the festival revolves around literally going out into the streets and throwing powdered color at each other. Have you ever guys heard of the color run, the 5K?
Yeah.
Yes, I've done the color run.
You have?
It's fun. Yeah, it's really fun.
Congrats. I'm a runner too, so I can imagine how fun it is. Not only that, but you're running in color. So what Holi is basically that, but minus the running part. And what it's supposed to do, it's supposed to represent the welcoming of the color of spring as well as like the light. It's very interesting simply because you guys understand how like winter tends to be dull and dark, and even though it's very warm in India, they don't experience as much of a harvest. Like things don't grow as well, so they feel it too. So spring is supposed to welcome that life back, and I'm guessing the harvest, like their crops start growing again better, and like the season just in general the weather improves as well. So to welcome that life back, they throw colors into the air and at each other, and from what I've seen and from what I've heard, it's a beautiful experience. Even though you come back home all dirty, at least they're colorful.
That sounds really cute though. Like I would always see the pictures. Oh my God, I'm bringing up social media again in this episode. But like I'd always see the pictures of people from color runs on Instagram, and they would look like weirdly. I thought they looked so cool because they were all like rainbow-fied, and I was like, I want to do that. What the heck? And I still haven't done it, but it looks really fun. It's just I don't know. It looks fun.
No, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. But like if you don't like running, then try Holi like in India. But I know that's definitely on my bucket list. But so is the color run. But a good friend of mine actually told me, who is Indian and celebrates the holiday, is that like so many people, and they welcome like anyone who comes in, even like tourists, like they're just gonna throw colors at you.
Oh my God, imagine just being a tourist and you had like no idea about the culture, and you were just like walking along the street trying to find a building. You're like, where is this iconic building? And then like someone just throws pink at you. Like that'd be so funny.
Yeah, you're blinded by blue or pink or like a bright like shade. Oh dear.
I would love that.
But going on to another interesting tradition. This is also, well, all of them are to welcome spring, but this is specifically to welcome the spring sun. It's a Mexican tradition of the, please correct me if I'm wrong, but the Teotihuacan pyramid ritual. So apparently, yes, this is the specific Teotihuacan pyramid in Mexico, and people from all around the world. This isn't just the people of Mexico, like, or of the like Aztec roots in general. People from all around the world come and they go up the pyramid, and there's like, it's very tall. There's lots and lots of steps, and they go up to greet the sun, greet the spring sun. And what's weird, they have to be all dressed in white, and they soak up the sun's energy to radiate into, like, I guess, like the world, or they basically go up to absorb the sunlight and like kind of give it out, from what I heard. Moving on, another interesting tradition from my culture, as weird as it is, okay, now hear me out. It's called the burning and drowning of the Majanna witch. Okay, so this tradition is actually done by children. And it's in which they create this puppet or this like witch out of straw, paper, like a bunch of like random burnable things. And so they first burn it and they drown it. And it's supposed to represent the killing of winter in the most subtlest way.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's actually originating from a pagan tradition in which people would put all their, like, basically the straw, all the things that all their crops that kind of died into, they would form like this little entity, I guess, this witch, and they would call it like the winter. They would like kind of put all their bad energy into it, and they would burn it, to kind of release it. But then, since that wasn't enough, they just, decided to drown it in a river. And like there used to be like, and kids still kind of like did that for a very long time. and there used to be like a bunch of random like majan. It was called majanana. And there used to be like a bunch of these like random like, you know, dolls, straw dolls, just like floating around in rivers. And it's basically to represent like the kind of banishing of winter. And it's actually a very funny tradition, although it's practiced a little bit less today and at safer parameters. I highly recommend to just kind of like look it up, see it every now and then, even experience it just to see like, wow, that's, you know, just to experience the odd cultural tradition.
That's cool. Because I know you're from Poland, when you would like go and visit and stuff, is that something you would see like all the kids doing, or were you ever a part of it?
Unfortunately, I've never been in Poland around Easter time, although I would really like to go. But I have seen this tradition in play and even participated in it myself when I was younger in America. There's a lot of Polish people in America, and yes, they still practice this. I even once made a marzanna with my sister, Isabella, who's also on the show. She could tell you a little bit about it too. We put our SAT, we made it out of our SAT practice guides. And like,
oh, that's so cool.
we took the winter SATs, so we're like, oh, we might as well put all our negative energy in there. And like, because, you know, so much stress. We got good grades, by the way, so don't worry. But like, you know, it was just all out of the stress. And we didn't end up drowning it, but we ended up kind of just putting her in our fireplace and just watching her be set aflame. And even though it's a weird tradition, I really enjoyed it. I have to admit.
That is amazing. Well, thank you, Camilla, for all your wonderful, just informative ways spring is celebrated around the world. That was just really interesting. So I love that.
Not just Easter, I guess.
Yes, not just Easter. It's all about, you know, I love spring. Spring is my favorite holiday. So that was just very holiday. Spring is not a holiday.
Yeah, I was going to say,
spring is a season.
Spring is celebrated, so it makes sense if you say holiday. Like, depending on which culture do you go to.
Oh, that's true. There you go. Thank you. Well, spring is my favorite because my birthday's in the spring, and I think the weather's great. But yes, anyway, thank you for coming on, Camilla.
Of course.
If you just woke up or if you just tuned in, you're listening to 90.3 WMSE Upper Montclair, and this is We Can Wake Up with myself, Leslie Gallagher, and my co-host,
Caitlin Aristizabal.
Yay. Yes, and now that we're you know, we're in this kind of like weird time right now in school where normally we would have what the youngins call a spring break, but we don't have that because COVID. It's funny because we are youngins. Well, no, I thought it was funny, whatever. Anyway, but our school thought it would be a good idea to not have, you know, spring break because they wanted to prevent people from traveling. And I don't know. What did you think about that, Caitlin? Do you think it was a wise decision?
I know I'm on the unpopular opinion side. I don't really care that we don't have spring break. And I know everybody, like, nobody agrees with me. At least nobody that I know agrees with me. I don't really care. I mean, we got an extended winter break. And I know that's not the same thing because it's different to get a break in the middle of the semester. But, like, I never did anything for spring break. But I know there's more to it as well. Like, it's just a week off from school, which is great. But I mean, I think we're going to have a couple reading days, and usually nobody does anything on reading days. So at least we get a couple of days randomly.
So far, I haven't even seen them say anything about any day off. The only reason I mean, here's the thing is I was on your side for a while. I was like, no travel sounds great. It's a great preventative measure. Yay for them taking action against COVID. And then I was like, oh, I see people traveling to Florida anyway and posting it on their stories, and we still don't have a break. They're just doing their virtual classes on the beach, and I saw people do this. So I was like, oh, well, so much for that. So not only do we have this preventative measure that didn't really work because people are going to do what people are going to do, and then we also just don't have a mental break. I think something I can speak for a lot of people on is having like some serious burnout, with a lot of people having, you know, just a lot of stress and anxiety and depression or whatever they're going through with all this school stuff, and then, you know, whatever personal stuff you've got going on. And then not to mention COVID just generally makes everyone a little miserable because, you know, lack of social life and all that stuff. So it's I like the preventative measure. I like the idea in theory of no spring break because I did really like the idea for a long time. But now that I'm starting to feel burnout and I see a lot of people around me feeling the same way, it would have even just like a 2-day break would be nice to have no classes, no meetings. I could turn my laptop off and go for a walk outside because we're just all kind of in our rooms.
That's something I think they should do, because at least 2 days would just give us all a little break from school. And I think we all could use that. And I mean, there's not much you can do in 2 days. And like you said, people are going to do what they want anyway with virtual classes.
Really
so like, I mean, Montclair can do everything they want, but it's not really, they can't really like lock anybody down. They don't have the power to.
Exactly. It's like, it's the same thing where you can't force people to wear a mask. You can't force people to not do anything. And like, here's the thing, is like, if the US had like the airports, like, you know, not going anywhere, that would be one thing. Then we probably would have had spring break, because it's like, how far can you really go? But, and that's a whole nother thing too. That's a whole nother issue with COVID.
Get to the government,
Oh, the government. But yeah, well, I did come across this article that was about taking care of yourself and self-care during making time for yourself when your school has yanked your spring break from you. And I think a lot of people could relate to it because, I mean, I don't know, like I said before, like a lot of people are feeling kind of like they're being burned out just because of no break. And all you have is like the weekend. And honestly, I do work on the weekends, like my job, and then also schoolwork, because my week is so busy because I'm always in a Zoom meeting, because everyone just, it's also the whole problem with the pandemic is everyone just thinks you have so much time because everything's online, but I feel like that's proving more and more to not be true.
Yeah, definitely. And now I keep thinking about, like, because you said the 2-day break thing, and I'm like, they should really just set a date to have maybe a Friday and a Monday off. That would make all the difference.
I feel like this weekend would have been perfect because for those who are religious, this
Good Friday
is Good Friday, and this Sunday is Easter Sunday. So if you're religious, then I mean that would be cool. A lot of people do celebrate those holidays.
I mean, I do have some professors though that are like, well, I'm not going to give you too much work because I understand this. There are some people who celebrate. Wow. But anyway, you know what?
Mine are literally acting like just
nothing.
I mean, I have one professor that said no class on Friday, and then every other professor is like didn't say anything about getting less work or giving us a break, which is fine because they're not really supposed to. But I don't know. It's nice that some professors are doing that.
See, our line producer in the back, Kyle, just said I haven't had free time since the semester started. Honestly, it has been a crazy semester.
My God, dude, I relate to that so much. I never heard.
We need a break.
We really do. See, do you see what I'm saying now?
I need a little. The thing is, like, I understood it in terms of school, like spring break in terms of traveling. I never understood. Like, I feel like the term spring break is just like there's so much negativity behind it because it's like, oh, we're gonna party and travel and do this, but I don't even look at it that way. I just look at it as a break. So I just want like a school break. It's not like a travel break, like, oh, let's go have fun. Like, I'm just like, can you just give me a Monday off?
Yeah, that's literally all I want. Like, I don't need a week. I'm not even thinking about traveling. Like, I would literally just stay, on campus, just, I don't know, have a day to just relax and not worry about things. Like no commitments set up, no meetings to attend, no assignments that are due the next day. Like, that would just be so nice. Oh my God, I'm stressing myself out the more I talk about this.
No, but there's one thing in the article that I enjoyed was it says to plan ahead for your assignments. And I mean, I know it's not possible for everybody to do this because just depending on what your major is and your classes. But I know for me, like, I got my vaccine the other day, so I tried to kind of get ahead of my work, so just in case I wouldn't have to deal with it, which, I mean, I wasn't super successful. I had to do work after I got my vaccine, but the day I got my vaccine, I did a bunch of assignments that whole night, so then the next day I was like completely free, which I really appreciated.
That's really good.
I made my own little break.
Yeah, I feel like that's something I should try doing because I always want to get ahead, and then I think I stress myself out, and I'm like, it's like a lot going at once. I think it's like probably time management, but also like I don't know. I think I've been like, this is like the most busy I've ever been as like a person with like between work and school. So I can try to get ahead and organize myself a little better, but I don't know. I like this one that's kind of like recognizing your mental health struggles and burnout and whichever, and taking a step back from clubs and curriculars. The ironic thing is that we're doing this show and it's, volunteer based and like we're doing this for fun. And, it's not so simple sometimes, but like at the same time, like let's say you do have a show at the station, and you say that you're feeling really burnt out. People are willing to work with you and help you, even though we've committed to like making a show for the semester, because like once you're started making a show, you're supposed to keep going every week. That makes sense. But if you reach out to people are a lot more understanding than you would think, especially in our generation, I feel like.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, definitely recognize your own cues of if you're burning out and take a break, because you have to listen to your body.
Yeah, listen to your body, your heart, your soul, your mind. This sounds like a sort of like a meditation video.
Well, I mean, speaking of, taking care of yourself, we actually have Wnek here to talk about wellness.
Yes, the other Wnek twin.
Another Wnek twin, it is indeed. Well, hello, my friends. I'm Isa, and yes, today I will be talking to you about something on a lighter side because we are having a wonderful time coming about. And I want to officially say, like my sister said earlier, happy spring, and if you celebrate, happy Easter. It's indeed a very exciting time. Even though we don't maybe have spring break, it's always good to remember that there's always a fun way to really utilize and celebrate this time to our fullest. And today in particular, since I am a health and wellness nut in this case, I want to talk about some healthy alternatives to our all favorite Easter candy coming around this time. Now, as we all know, we have a lot of different options heading our way. I mean, there's chocolate peanut butter, jelly beans, like fruity flavors. And I want to ask, like a clear, vivid discussion that we need to have. What is your guys' favorite Easter candy and why? Just be as detailed as possible.
I love the little pastel chocolate eggs. I love those things. I don't know why. I just think that it tastes so good. It's so simple. Kind of basic, I guess, but the little eggs.
I'm like the opposite because I love Peeps. And I know Leslie does not like Peeps because we had this conversation
I don't
last
understand
night. She was very mad with me. But Peeps, it's not like an all the time thing though. That's why. Like Peeps are an Easter thing. It's just this season and they're sugary and they're terrible for you, but they're amazing. It's just the Easter candy. My mom likes Cadbury cream eggs though.
I don't understand like the marshmallow thing.
Why?
Like the only way I eat marshmallows is in a s'more because marshmallows are just weird.
You never had like a chocolate dipped marshmallow? Just
no. I have, and it's actually pretty tasty.
Leslie, you just gotta eat marshmallow more.
No, because the texture is weird.
Okay, well,
how is the texture weird? Is it just too soft, or do you feel like it's not like sweet or it's not tasty if it's on its own?
No, it tastes great. I just don't like the texture of marshmallow.
Okay.
That's okay. Okay, we're getting to it.
You have texture issues. That's okay.
It's true. There are some foods I like the taste, but I can't eat because they just are weird to me. So well, I mean, maybe this is a me problem.
I mean, being force-fed Polish food from a young age gave me a lot of texture issues, but I've learned to just deal with it over time.
But a solution, just deal with it.
Just deal with it. Just accept the fact that you were born into a Polish family. Not that there's anything wrong. It just we have pickled fish. We have like a sauerkraut, a lot of like cooked vegetables, like these foods that a lot of people like in modern day wouldn't find as appealing, even though they're very healthy. Like now I love them, but back then I just wasn't the biggest fan because of texture. Like it smells and tastes great, but it's just the texture that's an issue. But yeah. Anyway,
you know what?
Yeah.
I was gonna say one thing I do like about Peeps, just to give it a little love, because I hated on it so much. I like how colorful they are.
I agree.
They're very cute.
If you would choose one color, Caitlin and Leslie, which color peeps or which color
Do they
which
taste different?
they I don't know. Well, no, they
No,
do not. They're
they're all
not
the
supposed
same.
to taste different. I know for me, if anything's a different color, it tastes different because it's just visually appealing. But if you would choose
True.
a color peep, let's say you have like I know the traditional ones are pink, yellow, and blue. But we also have like green. They also have purple, and they also have like red. Like
I forgot
which one
about
would you choose?
those. Yellow or pink, because I think they're the most Eastery. They're the ones that I first think of.
True. I would say yellow too, even though it's like it makes it more look realistic looking, but like it's just I don't know. Yellow looks cute.
It's like simple, classic yellow.
Yeah. It's a classic yellow look.
Yeah, mine would have to be blue because it's just the most I would say it's kind of like the most unnatural color for a dessert and just looks a little like crazy out there, but it's pretty fun. It's like one of those fun colors. But anyway, going on about my segment. Now, today I want to discuss some healthy alternatives to these very highly sugary but tasty desserts and how we could enjoy them to their best. And personally, just coming from a family who loves to cook, who loves food, who just prepared food for a very long time throughout generations and master different recipes, I always felt that making homemade treats for holidays was always special. There were so many different things about it. Not only were many recipes very easy and not as time consuming as we think, but it was a fun time with family and friends. As getting into health and wellness when I was older, I found out that all these recipes, you could still, they taste sometimes even better, if not exactly the same as these modern candies. They're actually lower in sugar and they have simple ingredients, which means they don't have any artificial flavorings or sweeteners or anything that is in particular just not made for you to eat, which is pretty cool. It's cool to know that I could have a chocolate bar, but it's healthier at home because it has less sugar and has natural ingredients. And yeah, I made it too, so I feel pretty happy.
Have you made your own chocolate before?
In fact, yes, I have. It's very easy, and I want to talk to you about this in the segment too.
That's crazy. I want to do that.
Yeah, I'm having a hard time conceptualizing that because I guess I never thought to make my own chocolate.
In fact, what I want to share with you is a very simple recipe. I have a few recipes today, but one of my top recipes is making a dark chocolate or a normal milk chocolate dip with fruits. Now, we all know when the spring comes around, we have so many different fruits and fresh vegetables that come to our tables. And fruits are a great way to not only satisfy your sweet tooth, get a good amount of vitamins, but also really give yourself a nice sweet dessert experience, if you really put yourself to it, if you're open to it. We have apples, bananas, berries, mango, pineapple, all these. What I love about berries is just there's strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and even cherries when they come out about a little later in the spring. But what you do is that you could wash them and you could chop them up and you could make a nice colorful designs out of them, and you could make beautiful platters. I know that some people have bouquets also they make of fruits, and it looks really nice.
Yeah.
And
I've seen that before too.
it is pretty fun. And you could either make a yogurt dip, which is yogurt, sometimes some sweetener, whether it's sugar, honey, maple syrup, and you could add some cinnamon to it, and it actually tastes pretty good. Or you could also make a dark chocolate dip to dip the veggies to dip the fruits in. And that's really simple. All you need is either you can make a version where you buy dark chocolate, and then you just put it in a saucepan, add a little bit of milk and let it simmer down. You could add a little bit of heavy cream up to it to thicken it up, or you can make a pure homemade version where you take cacao butter, which could be found in most convenient grocery stores. Cacao butter, some milk or some coconut oil, take some cacao powder, and mix that slowly, and then you could add some sweetener like honey, maple syrup, sugar, stevia, anything that you like, and it actually makes a really nice fun dip. And it's actually really cool because not only is it vegan and it usually goes to everyone's taste, but it's also pretty healthy.
That's pretty awesome. I like that.
That's crazy. It kind of blows my mind.
And one more quick, easy recipe that I want to share. A lot of people don't know this, but you can really easily make marshmallows or like peeps from home.
No, thank you. But I'll listen anyways. I'm kidding.
Leslie, I want to know.
So what you do, and there's a vegan and a non-vegan version. The non-vegan version is the traditional version where you use gelatin. And you use gelatin, sweetener, and sometimes a little bit of food coloring, or you could use like natural food coloring, whether it's from turmeric or like a little bit of beet juice. Like a little goes a long way, so you won't even taste it. So what you do is that you first take usually a cup of water, 3 tablespoons of gelatin, and half a cup of your sweetener of choice. If it's something liquid like honey or maple syrup, I recommend you to use 1/4 a cup. But if it's something powdered, then you could use half a cup. And then you just let all that dissolve in the water. And then you take a blender and you mix it up. And then like this nice fluffy consistency forms. Like it's almost like egg white, like beat egg white, but it's more stiff. And you wait until it's very stiff, and then you pour it into like a baking sheet, and you just leave it somewhere. Like you don't have to bake it, so you just leave it somewhere for a few hours to firm up, and you have homemade marshmallows.
Oh, that's so cool. I want to try that. I mean, I knew it required gelatin, but I've never done it myself, actually.
That's pretty interesting too, because you asked us before, like what color peeps were your favorite, and you could actually make your own and actually just do your favorite color.
You can make a rainbow peep.
Yeah, it's possible.
Now Kaylin's gonna be like making like fancy peeps in her like dorm kitchen.
I'm so excited. What? I will do that.
Exactly. And that's my favorite thing about like baking around this time, making homemade treats. Not only is it easier than most people think, it's healthier, and yeah, it's more fun to think like, yeah, I made homemade peeps. Like I didn't have to go to the store. I'm unique. Like you could really impress your family with this. And if I can just share, last but not least, this is one of my favorite desserts coming from Polish roots. We love to make meringues. And meringues take a little long to make, but they're very easy and they're very nice, tasty, crispy, airy. And a lot of people don't know, but they're also healthy because they're high in protein because they're made of egg white. You can use egg white or aquafaba if you're vegan, which is the water that you get from canned chickpeas. That works just as well. You just have to make sure that it's the same ratios as the egg white. So if it's half a cup of egg whites, it needs to be half a cup of aquafaba. If sometimes not, a little more, just depending on what you have. And what you do, same thing. You just put that in a blender, beat it up, add some sweetener. Then you pipe it onto a baking sheet, and then you let it, you put it into a turned on oven, and then you turn it off and you leave it overnight. And it's supposed to firm up, and they're like nice and crispy cookies, and they're very light, which makes them not only like you could eat a lot of them, but you'll be satisfied, and you won't feel like you have like a full stomach, like your stomach won't hurt after it.
Meringues are good. I've made them before too. My family likes them, so that's definitely a good little tip. They're fun and they're so quick. I mean, they're like, you got to be careful with the egg, but they're awesome.
I highly recommend.
I've heard like of lemon meringue. Is there different like flavors of it? I'm sorry, I've never had meringue before.
Oh, well, you could make many different flavors. It's like one of those things that you could customize, like chocolate chip cookies. Like you can make, oatmeal raisin cookies, snickerdoodles. Like you can make cacao meringues. Lemon meringues are very popular. I know some people also add like cacao nibs to meringues. I've seen someone once have like crumbled cookies, like cookies and cream meringues or mint meringues. Those are really good too. So you could really accessorize. Yeah, mint ones were really good too. They're nice and refreshing.
Ooh. Well, thank you so much, Isa. I feel like I have so many ideas now. Like I'm not into marshmallows, but it kind of does sound fun to make them. So maybe I'm convinced. Maybe I'll join Kaylin when she makes them. Who knows?
Why not? Even just like for guests, just to impress them. Like, look, homemade peeps.
Homemade peeps. I feel like if I tried like decorating them with the eyes, it would come out like really bad. But
you could say it's your unique version.
I can picture like a like those shows where it's like a disaster dessert and they like totally screwed it up. Like that would be me making my own peeps, but I would still try it. That'd be funny.
Yeah, why not? It's always good to be open.
True. You gotta try things, right? Like you gotta try, because if you don't try, then you won't know. So I guess that's my inspirational speech to make your own peeps.
All right, well, thank you very much, guys. Once again, happy spring and happy Easter if you celebrate. Have a wonderful time. Stay healthy, stay cool, and remember, stay awesome as always. Bye.
I'll try to stay awesome. No
Well, I
promise.
mean, on that note, let's get to some awesome music with Jake.
Or is it awesome?
Oh, this is a
Hey,
good point.
some of it is, some of it isn't, but collectively, I think it's safe to say all of it is. What's up, guys? I got some cool music to talk about, but I'm wondering, have you guys been listening to any killer tunes recently?
Just Taylor Swift's "You All Over Me" over and over, and that's about it.
Oh, of course, obligatory.
We were listening to Britney Spears in the car yesterday.
Oh,
Leslie and I.
nice.
True,
Gotta
we
pay
were
respects.
listening to Britney.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I'm always listening to old music. I don't know.
I like old music though; it's very nostalgic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's odd to go through it. Well, too bad, because we're going to music news right now. So, well, actually, the first music news is about an old band, so that's good.
Funny.
All right. My Bloody Valentine, signed to Domino, is working on 2 new albums, and a bunch of their stuff, their full discography is now on streaming. I'm actually a little confused by the bit about the streaming, because I know one of their albums, at least one of their albums, was on Spotify before, so like I don't really know why this is big news, but it's definitely cool that they're working on new stuff, because I think their last album was in 2013, and
Wow.
it was this one, the one with the blue, and yeah, it I don't know, I didn't hear much buzz about it. I listened to the first album off the first song off their most recent album, and it was boring. A lot of this band's music's pretty boring, but they're really well known for being, I think they're considered like the essential shoegaze record, and shoegaze is it's funny, I was looking into this because I was like, why is it called shoegaze? And it was it's like rock, but it's so heavily distorted with like pedals that the performers are always looking down at the pedals, and it looks like they're looking at their shoes, so they're shoegazing. Like,
whoa. What?
And I was like,
I love that there's like a story behind that.
Yeah,
Like it makes sense. Oh, what?
I thought that was interesting, and it does make sense because it is very like distortion, very like effects heavy, and you could definitely hear that on My Bloody Valentine's album Loveless, which is like, I think kind of their big one from the early 90s. But yeah, it's definitely worth checking out, but not my cup of tea. And we also got the music news that How I Met Your Mother star Josh Radnor, he dropped a song. Apparently he's had a songwriting heart this whole time. The song is called You Feel New. And did you guys watch How I Met Your Mother?
I was obsessed.
Really?
I
What
love
was
that
this
show.
person's character like?
Okay, so Josh Radnor was like the main guy of the show, and the entire 9 seasons is him telling the story about how he met his kids.
Oh wow, I did not know it was the main character.
So yeah, he's the main character. He plays Ted, and his whole life is about trying to find the woman of his dreams and failing over and over. It's a really good show, and that sounds really sad by the way I described it, but for those of you who don't know, it's a comedy show. It's really, really funny. And I don't know, I think the thing with Josh Radnor is he's been known for like this role in this show, and to my knowledge he hasn't acted in many things or anything since. Again, that's off the top of my head, don't quote me on that, but he hasn't been in many things because I think he's like, I don't know, I guess cornered himself into like being known for this role. So like I think that's what people like know him for. And I don't know, I think it's very interesting that he's singing and songwriting, and
yeah,
I'm always all for people trying.
It's good to try it, but it didn't work. This song is bad.
I didn't like it.
Like
sorry, Josh Radnor.
Yeah.
You just said straight, this song is bad. That's it.
Well, actually, I'll add some nuance there. This is, I think some people like the song. If you like Florida Georgia Line, you might like the song. I get the impression that that's just like the type of music that he likes, and he wanted to make a song that was like that, because I described it and I thought it was very like poetic for writing it this way.
Yeah.
I described it as a joyous mess of folky sounds, because it's just like harmonica, like strings, fiddles, just to the wall. Just like it's all that stuff just like thrown together with no cohesion, nothing, and then just these like really cheesy emo lyrics, like I don't know, it kind of made me uncomfortable listening to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it felt like there was no cohesion to it.
It was really cheesy. When I was looking over the lyrics, I was just like, I feel like I've heard this before in like every like little teenage movie of like, you make me feel so alive. Yeah,
it's all those, and I don't know, it was really you get points for trying.
I like when people do try new things, but also like, I don't know, he was so good in How I Met Your Mother. That's on like, if he was in another like, you know, comedy. But you know what, I say that, but then also the main two comedic actors weren't actually Josh Radnor. It was Jason Segel and Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, I
they were
that
who made the show funny, and Josh Radnor.
No, like Josh Radnor's character was kind of annoying. To be honest, like sometimes.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's been a while since I've watched the show, but
poor Josh.
Neil Patrick Harris,
making him
like,
feel so bad right now.
We're just roasting Josh Radnor.
Oh, I feel bad. No, but Neil Patrick Harris was like amazing. That's where I first like heard of Neil Patrick Harris, and I've loved him since then. He's an icon. So funny.
Who doesn't love Neil Patrick Harris, honestly? And also Jason Segel too. I love everyone on that show, honestly. But yeah, it's funny because he was on this funny show and he wasn't a funny character, so it's interesting. Interesting.
Wait, okay, because Kyle in the background just said he was like the Ross of the show, and like Ross from Friends, that is totally who his character is in How I Met Your Mother. Like, just
I never thought about it like that, but it's so true.
It makes so much sense. Ross annoys me on Friends too, anyway.
All right, before Mr. Radnor starts crying on us,
let's
move
keep
on to
going.
some new music I found this week. The first one was, here's the album cover. It's James by Oscar and the World, which is a really cool band name. I don't know, I like that. I don't know if it's a band name or just him, but that's a cool name. So this is like a chill wave pop song. It's very like slow. It's got cool production aspects to it. It has these like very laid back, muted vocals. And, you know, we talked about this a bit with the Josh Radnor song, but these vocals would be a lot better if the lyrics were like interesting or original. Like, and the lyrics in the song are also really repetitive. So it's like the same thing over and over again. And like, it's not even like good. I don't know. It's kind of
so it's like a repetitive sort of sound, and
a little bit. It definitely goes again and again.
Right.
And like at the end they add these vocals inflections, and it's really goofy.
Goofy. Yeah. I love when you call something goofy, because I'm just like, now I want to listen to it. Like, what does it mean?
Yeah. I also found this cover of a Sharon Van Etten song. I don't know who Sharon Van Etten is, but I like this cover. The song's called Don't Do It by Courtney Barnett, and featuring like Vagabond. And I don't know, it's just like a nice laid back rock song. Like, I feel like this is a good song if you like don't want to listen to white noise, but like don't want to listen to like music. Like, you could listen to this and you'll just chill out.
It's kind of like an
interesting in between.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And I don't know if I mentioned this, but like it was like a theme today, and just like chill music, because this song, it's funny, this is appropriate because the song is by a band called Fools, and the song is called April Fools. But this song is actually awesome. It's like the production is like so like crisp and matte, and like it's like a chill song, but the beats are like really funky, and there are like multiple funk elements, and there's also marimbas. And like, I was, what's the thing, mallet percussion and marching band throughout high school. So like, marimbas just have a special place in my heart. And like vibraphones and xylophones, mallet percussion, I like it. It's my thing. Yeah, so I like the song a lot. So I highly recommend you check it out. I think it's on Bandcamp, not Spotify.
That's interesting. To call like, why April Fools?
Well, it was released
I'm
today,
curious.
April Fools, yeah.
and he says it in the song. So I didn't listen to it closely enough to like figure out like what it's about, what it
Analyze,
means.
yeah.
But I assume
Like, go
it
in
has
depth.
something to do with April Fools.
That's so interesting to
That's
release
actually
a song about
pretty
April Fools. I hate April Fools. I think
Really?
it's stupid. I think it's a stupid holiday. Like, what
I
is the
think
point?
my professor told me yesterday that that the midterm was tomorrow, and he was being weird about it. So we think it was an April Fool's joke.
Think you don't know if you have a midterm?
Wait, so we don't know if you have a midterm?
No, I don't. The class, it's a big topic in the chat right now. But
Oh my god.
that's
Like the group
the
me's
point.
going off. Jesus.
Well, I have a midterm later today, no joke, but I mean
I think Kyle's offended that I don't like April Fools. I'm sorry.
seriously though, like what is the point of it? I don't like it that much either. I've never had a cool I've never done a cool prank. I've never had a cool prank even pulled on me. Like it was just a thing in elementary school, be like, haha, my name is a different name, and like that was like the biggest joke, and that's about it. Or you
Honestly,
Yeah, I
pranks-
feel like I need to see some better April Fool's jokes, and maybe my
Right.
opinion will
I feel like
change.
pranks in general are just like bad. I don't know.
Oh,
bad concept.
Kyle said he likes the idea of a holiday of humor. Okay, I like that.
Aw.
The concept is very nice. But people are stupid with it. That's the thing.
Yeah, make it better.
Yeah, make it better. Jake. Oh, Jesus. Anyway.
Anyways, if you're just tuning in or just waking up, I'm so sorry, but this is the end of our show, We Can Wake Up, and you've been listening to 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair. And of course, Kaylin is mouthing in the background to what I'm saying. That was funny. It's cute, cute. We hope you have a good week and a good weekend. See you next week. Bye.